Good morning, and thank you for joining us on Newsline for Friday, January the 24th of 2014. I'm Thira Kausan. In today's top stories, Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra told the military to exercise extreme caution towards guarding its armaments. And turning to our business news, commercial banks are increasing their cash reserves both at their branches and at the ATM machine. And taking a look now at today's headlines, Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra has signed a 6-point declaration for Thai civilians in Bangkok and surrounding provinces to follow while the emergency decree is in order. Following the imposition of the state of emergency in the capital and parts of its vicinities, Prime Minister Yingluck has used her authority granted by the Executive Decree on Public Administration in Emergency Situations 2005 to issue a set of rules and restrictions to which all residents are required to conform. They are as follows. The first one is no gathering of 5 persons or more will be permitted in areas specified by authorities except gatherings for electoral campaigns and activities. The second one is no dissemination of fear-arousing messages or distorted information will be allowed in any form throughout the media. The third one is no traveling will be allowed on transport routes or vehicles specified by authorities. The fourth one is no access will be permitted to buildings or areas designated by authorities as no entry zones. The fifth one, people are to vacate certain areas for their own safety as instructed by authorities. And the sixth one is in carrying out each of the aforementioned orders, the authorities will be responsible for specifying the duration for which the order is in effect and providing subordinates with a clear operational guideline in order to minimize the impact on the general public. Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra told the military to exercise caution in guarding its armaments to prevent the weapons from falling into the hands of those seeking to promote turmoil. Speaking at the first Defense Council meeting of 2014, Ms. Yingluck, the Defense Minister, clarified the declaration of the emergency decree enforcement over Greater Bangkok to the heads of the Army, Navy, and Air Force, as well as other military top brass. Following the meeting, Ms. Yingluck told reporters she called on the People's Democratic Reform Committee leaders to have regard for personal rights and that she would rather not see the group making announcements about trying to capture certain individuals. Colonel Thanatip Sawang Sang, the spokesperson for the Ministry of Defense, said that the Prime Minister emphasized the issue of military personnel carrying weapons to important locations or into communities. Many foreign press agencies have been closely monitoring the ongoing political unrest in Thailand, paying a lot of attention to the government's decision to impose the emergency decree. The invocation of the emergency decree in Bangkok and nearby provinces has been the main issue circulating among foreign media as they fear the move would cause the conflict to escalate after months of ongoing protests. British Broadcasting Corporation, or BBC, reported that the Thai government had imposed the state of emergency for 60 days beginning on January 22nd in order to control the unrest. The announcement was made a week after the protesters had been going all out to paralyze the capital. Meanwhile, Cable News Network, or CNN, said the emergency decree would empower state officials to arrest perpetrators without a court order and prohibit any unauthorized person from entering certain restricted areas. Reuters also reported a similar story, saying that the emergency decree would allow government authorities to apprehend culprits without actual charges or allegations. In the meantime, the U.S. Department of State condemned the explosions that took place last week and called on the government to bring the perpetrators to justice as soon as possible. It also urged all sides to exercise restraint and find a solution through a peaceful and democratic manner. Now, after the enforcement of the emergency decree, foreign countries have been paying close attention on what the situation is in Thailand. Now, today we have a special interview with the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kun Sek Wannamethi. Swadee ka, Kun Sek.
Good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
Yes.
Are you doing good?
Yes. So I'll just give a briefing on what the Permanent Secretary of Foreign Affairs briefed the diplomatic community on 22nd of January, including a briefing to the foreign media. The message given by the foreign ministry is the rationale behind the invocation of the emergency decree. That the decision was taken, of course, by the Thai cabinet upon the recommendations of the Center for Administration of Peace and Order in view of the assessment of the current situation and of the recent development. And of course, the main concern is that, firstly, the protest has been going on for over 100 days now. And in view of the so-called shutdown of Bangkok, there has been concern about the number of violent incidents, which has appeared, as you well know, at the Victory Monument, at Manhattan Road. There has been sporadic drive-by shootings. Protesters have also shut down government agencies, cutting off electricity and water supply. So in view of the current situation, the government felt that the situation could worsen, particularly in the lead-up to the election on the 2nd of February. They were decided to invoke the emergency decree. But I'd just like to stress that the emergency decree that that has been issued and that we stress to the diplomatic community in Bangkok is that the decree is not aimed at banning the protest. Of course, peaceful protests can take place within the bounds of the Constitution. So the first message that the decree is not aimed at banning the protest. Secondly, the police will continue to take the lead in terms of ensuring peace and security, while the military plays a supporting role. So the decree is meant to serve as a deterrent. And of course, it has been emphasized that the security personnel will continue to exercise utmost restraint. And so the decree basically gives the police or the security personnel more legal tools at their disposal so that they can better maintain peace and order in light of these developments that are taking place.
Now, what is the feedback from the international community regarding this event that was held?
Yes, of course, during the briefing, the diplomatic community, they didn't raise any particular concern. Of course, they appreciated the efforts of the Foreign Ministry in coordinating with all sides regarding the facilitation of diplomatic cars to enter the past the roadblock, given the Vienna Convention of the privileges of the diplomatic community in Thailand. And also, as for the foreign media, of course, questions were raised regarding the purpose, the rationale behind the invocation of the emergency decree. The main message is that the decree is not aimed at banning the protest, and also that the government, in exercising utmost restraint, will also comply with international standards, respect for human rights, and the implementation of the decree, of course, depends on the situation on the ground. It would have to be commensurate with the situation.
Now, what about foreign nationals living in Bangkok? Should they become alarmed about the state of emergency, or what are your suggestions for them to carry out their daily lives?
Yes, throughout the various announcements made by the government, we would like the daily lives, the livelihood of the people in Bangkok to continue as usual. The implementation of the decree, as I said earlier, the government has emphasized that it would implement those measures in line and commensurate with the situation as it develops.
Now, for the foreigners that are watching, if they do need help of any sort, who can they contact, or where can they find a place that would be able to help them?
Of course, there's the foreign community in Bangkok. Of course, the tourists they have been given the call center of the tourist authorities. The diplomatic community, of course, they have the hotline with the foreign ministry, and of course there'll be on a daily basis there are announcements made which are televised. But as for now, the implementation of the various measures would be announced, and of course the government has stressed that the implementation would have to be commensurate with the situation as it unfolds. And of course, the police are still the main agent in ensuring peace and security, while the military plays a supporting role.
All right, that's all the questions we have for you this morning. Thank you very much, Khun Sek, for joining us on the phone, and we hope to have you on the show very soon. Thank you. That was Khun Sek Wanameti, the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And turning now to other news, the Constitution Court has unanimously resolved that it will judge whether the government or the Election Commission, or EC, has the power to postpone the general election scheduled on February 2nd of this year. The Constitution Court justices met on Thursday on the EC's request for the court's decision about the general election. The EC asked the court to decide which government unit had the authority to invoke a royal decree to schedule a general election and whether the February 2nd polls could be put off if necessary. The EC sought the court's judgments after it was in conflict with the government on two issues, and the court is expected to hand down its rulings today. The Bangkok Metropolitan Administration, or BMA, has expressed a readiness for the advance voting schedule for January 26, but admitted concerns over possible disruptions in some areas of the capital. As the January 26 absentee balloting is only a week away, Permanent Secretary for the BMA, Nina Chalitanon, said BMA officials are fully prepared to assist the Election Commission in organizing the event across Bangkok. However, she voiced concerns over possible disorder in some areas amidst the currently tense political atmosphere. She explained that with the presence of protesters seeking to have the polls rescheduled, there could be attempts to interrupt the voting process. She disclosed that there was a high possibility that obstructions would be seen in Bang Kapi and Bang Khun Tien districts. Under such circumstances, the Permanent Secretary encouraged district chiefs or supervisors of the polling booths to use their discretion to take appropriate action to solve the problem at hand. She insisted that the safety of citizens and electoral staff must be prioritized. And that's it for our first segment. We now take a short break. Coming up next, Thailand is expected to see a 3 to 4% growth in its economy this year. Do stay tuned.
Open the world of information. Embrace public participation. Present Thainess to the world. New dimension of the government's public relations. The 80th anniversary of the Public Relations Department. Creative media for the society. Mobilizing Thailand towards the ASEAN community.
เมื่อมนุษย์ทำลายสมดุลทางธรรมชาติและมนุษย์ก็เป็นผู้ประสบภัยพิบัติจากธรรมชาติร่วมสร้างอนาคตลดภัยพิบัติระดมพลังพลิกฟื้นคืนผืนป่าในทุกชุมชนทั่วประเทศ
For those who have Android smartphones, you can download a PRD News application by searching for PRD News English in Play Store. That way, you can stay up to date with the latest happenings in Thailand.
Bangkok has lost more than 7 billion baht in revenue during the mass rallies, and the country as a whole should expect to see 3 to 4% in economic growth this year. This is according to the University of the Thai Chamber of Commerce. According to the Thai Chamber of Commerce Chairman Kun Isara Wongkusongkit, the recently announced emergency decree has not shown negative effects in the short term. However, in the long run, it will affect foreign investors' confidence and the country's image. Since the mass rallies began on January 13 to mobilize Bangkok, many countries have issued travel warnings against going to Thailand, which has resulted in a 30% drop in foreign visitors to the country, resulting in an estimated 7 billion baht loss in tourism revenues. However, Mr. Isarak expects that the Thai economy will grow between 3 to 4% this year on the back of the recovering global market. And currently, the Thai Chamber of Commerce is working in cooperation with the Department of International Trade Promotion to hold the ThaiFex World of Food Asia 2014 exhibition to showcase and promote Thai food. The event will be held at Muang Thong Thani during May 21st until the 25th of this year. The Thai Chamber of Commerce has indicated that the invocation of the emergency decree has not yet affected the economy and forecasts that the economy will grow by 3 to 4% if the political protests do not turn violent. Academics from the Thai Chamber of Commerce, Kun Thanawat Ponwichai, said no significant impact had been found in the Thai economy as stocks continued its upward trend, which was a sign that foreign investors were still confident in Thailand. The general public spending was also normal, according to Mr. Thanawat. The Thai Chamber of Commerce projected that the anti-government protests would result in a 5 to 7% decrease in domestic consumption and tourism. The decrease accounted for 5 to 10 billion baht. Without violent incidents, the economy can grow by 3 to 4% due to its strong fundamentals. The academic added that the retention of 2.25% policy interest rate by the Monetary Policy Committee showed that the Thai economy was still strong and that the global economy was on its way to recovery. The positive outlook would lead to export growth in the first quarter, but the Monetary Policy Committee might decrease the benchmark rate in its next meeting due to concerns over effects of politics on the economy. Thai shares recovered strongly on Thursday to a near 4-week high on foreign buying as the capital Bangkok returned to calm after weeks of political unrest, while other Southeast Asian markets mostly ended firmer through Singapore, though Singapore underperformed. Reuters data showed that Thai set index outperformed the region with a 1.4% gain, ending at 1,308.34 points, its highest close since December 26. The strong recovery was led by bank and energy shares, and foreign investors bought a net $56.55 million worth of shares on Thursday after the Thai market saw a $221.4 million outflow in 7 straight sessions through Wednesday. The Philippine index ended 0.5% firmer at its highest close since December 3rd, led by a 3.8% gain in BDO Unibank Inc. after the IMF raised the country's growth forecasts. Cautious investors are awaiting directions from the U.S. Federal Reserve, which some market players expect to further trim its bond buying next week, as Chinese manufacturing data pointed to a mild slowdown in the new year. And before we take a break, let's have a look at the exchange rates and commodity prices.
Open the world of information. Embrace public participation. Present Thainess to the world. new dimension of the government's public relations. The 80th anniversary of the Public Relations Department, creative media for the society, mobilizing Thailand towards the ASEAN community.
เมื่อมนุษย์ทำลายสมดุลทางธรรมชาติแล้วมนุษย์ก็เป็นผู้ประสบภัยพิบัติจากธรรมชาติร่วมสร้างอนาคตลดภัยพิบัติระดมพลังพลิกฟื้นคืนผืนป่าในทุกชุมชนทั่วประเทศ
For those who have Android smartphones, you can download a PRD News application by searching for PRD News English in Play Store. That way, you can stay up to date with the latest happenings in Thailand.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsline. 45 provinces have so far been declared disaster zones as the cold weather lingers in the upper portion of Thailand. The Department of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation revealed that over 25 million people in 45 provinces have been affected by winter conditions. With temperatures plunging in many provinces and frost covering high mountain peaks, local authorities are desperately trying to provide enough warm clothes to disaster victims. So far, nearly 850,000 relief packages have been dispatched. The Weather Bureau reported on January 24th until the 25th that the cold front that had been covering Thailand will weaken, prompting the average temperature to rise. Those affected by the cold weather can request assistance at 1784 hotline on a 24-hour basis. Nakhon Phanom authorities are speeding up help for the cold snap victims as all 12 districts of the province have already been declared cold disaster zones. The temperature was reportedly as low as 7 degrees Celsius. Nakhon Phanom province is experiencing the lowest temperature in 5 years. The mercury measured by the local meteorological office is around 7 degrees Celsius in the mornings, forcing the province to declare all of its 12 districts cold spell disaster zones. Provincial authorities are now working hard to assist people as approximately 200,000 residents are in need of winter blankets. People who live in Nawa district 100 kilometers away from central Nakhon Phanom are seen making bonfires at night to keep themselves warm. As of now, around 10,000 winter blankets have been distributed to the residents. Authorities are also warning residents of possible fire while calling on all local offices to be well prepared in case of an emergency. And that's it for today's edition of Newsline. For any comments or suggestions, please feel free to email them to us at newsline.mbt@gmail.com. We're going to say goodbye with footage of frost that was reportedly covering many areas high up in the mountain, and this vegetable garden in Pisanulok is no exception. I'm Have a wonderful weekend. Swadee ka.